Okay. Hi everyone. Today I'm going to be talking about why animal testing should be banned. So, many animals suffer ultimately for our own gain, especially like if we want to buy a makeup product or something. A lot of animals suffer from that. Though animal testing was historically gave us a lot of knowledge about experiments and all that, it's not needed in today's world when it comes to product development, as we have a lot of accessibility to technology and other such things. Animal testing proves to be more wasteful and unnecessary when it comes to experimenting. Several countries have already banned animal testing, as there are a number of alternatives that are more beneficial. Banning animal testing would result in a guilty-free conscience in the consumer, as well as a more informed consumer and better use of time and money with the implementation of other alternatives. Next slide. All right. Ultimately, animal testing is not needed. It's waste time and money on the scientist side as well as the consumer side. According to PETA, animal experiments prolong the suffering of people waiting for effective cures by misleading experimenters and squandering precious money, time, and resources that could have been spent on human relevant research. It has been shown through research that animal testing doesn't effectively correlate with that of humans, as we are totally different body types. PETA wrote that the National Institute of Health reports that 95 out of every 100 drugs that pass animal tests fail in humans. Therefore, if medicine works on a rat, it won't necessarily work on a human body. PETA also states that the federal government and many health charities waste precious dollars from taxpayers and well-meaning donors on animal experiments at universities and private laboratories instead of supporting promising clinical, in vitro, epidemiological, and other non-animal studies that could actually benefit humans. The money going towards these unproductive experiments could instead go to these other private, more beneficial alternatives. Next slide. So, according to Michael Sharp, a growing list of 37 countries has begun to take a stand as well, either outright banning or severely limiting the sale of cosmetics that contain ingredients that were tested on animals. With protesting and being active in the community against animal testing, getting the legislation passed against animal testing can be achieved on a global scale. According to Jacqueline Kelly, at the federal level, the Human Cosmetics Act has been introduced. Although advocates admit it is unlikely to be signed, if passed, it would lead to a phasing out of animal testing for U.S.-made cosmetics within a year and imported cosmetics within 3 years. Working toward the ending of animal testing can help push other alternatives into the light. According to PETA, there are many non-animal test methods that can be used in place of animal testing. Not only are these non-animal tests more humane, they also have the potential to be cheaper, faster, and more relevant to humans. Okay, speaking of other alternatives. In today's world, we have a lot more technology and knowledge accessible to us to develop and further alternatives in replacement of animal testing. Some alternatives that we can implement on a grander scale are skin models, in vitro technology, human patient simulators, human-based microdosing, and organs on a chip. According to Jacqueline Kelly, Harvard's Wyss Institute for Biologically Inspired Engineering is also breaking ground in artificial substitutes for testing. Their newly developed organs on a chip device contains living cells that mimic organ-level physiology. The Institute hopes to make these commercially available for a variety of uses, including cosmetic testing. Skin models recreated from human cells are also now accessible to scientists to test different beauty and cosmetic products rather than on animals such as rabbits or mice. Excuse me. As Alexis Crosswell states, we have the capacity to research and develop alternatives that are more accurate and more humane. These alternatives medically and within product testing are the way of the future. It's time to let animals out of the world's laboratories. We have the capability of using other alternatives to animal testing So why not use it? All right. Ultimately, animal testing has proved to be more unethical than beneficial. It has been seen to be more wasteful and unnecessary in terms of experimenting. The wastefulness and the ignorant science behind animal testing should be banned, allowing for the better use of time and money toward research, allowing for the consumer to have a guilty-free conscience, as well as knowing where their money is going. So what can you do? Above all, go for cruelty-free products. Alexis Crosswell wrote that we may not be able to end all forms of animal testing as quickly as we want, such as experiments in medical facilities or at pharmaceutical companies, but we can control what we purchase. Protest and call onto government agencies to pass legislation. Donate to charities that don't experiment on animals. All in all, I think that we would all prefer to live in a world where an animal hasn't suffered so we can have a simple beauty product.